Okay, so let's start the current solution. But before that, we will understand that what is the meaning of FIFO method. Okay, FIFO, and second one is LIFO. Okay, so we will understand this in a elementary form so that it will be easy to understand. First in, first out. Last in, first out. So first of all, we will consider the FIFO method, then we will move to LIFO method. Okay. So FIFO method says that which of the items or which of the raw material has been purchased first, has been purchased in first place, will be sold in first place. So it becomes technical. So let us understand with an example. Okay. Let's just suppose there are four dates: one, two, three, four. On each of the dates, so these are dates and these are units. So we have, let's erase it because uh, okay, so let's write it here to make it more clearer. So on date 1, as per FIFO method, we have purchased 10 units. Then on date 2, we have purchased 20 units, then 10 units, then 10 units. Now what happens? There is a company who sells the finished goods, or we can say the product. Okay. Now the FIFO method says whichever item comes first, okay, which item has been purchased in first place will be sold first. Okay. Now let's say if the company produces sells products, or let's say 20 units. So the 20 units, if so from where the 20 units will be allocated, 10 units from this and 10 units from this. Why 10 units from this one? Because it the 10 units had been these 10 units has been purchased in first place, and followed by that 10 units will be allocated from this 20 units, from this 10 20 units. Okay. So likewise, what happens, that whichever item has been purchased in first place will be sold first, like first in, first out. So we have understood the meaning of FIFO method. Now let's come to LIFO method. Let's say suppose there are dates as usual, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's keep the units as similar so that it will be easy to understand. Now what happens when a company here also applies LIFO method? So it will be selling the units which it has been selling the units which has been purchased at the recent. Okay. Let's say suppose the a company sells 30 units. Okay. 30 units to his customer. Now what happens, how will that those 30 units will be allocated? As I said, last in, first out. and here was first in first out. So the last in means 10 units from date 4, 10 units from date 3, and 10 units from date 2, because we have 30 units to sell. We want to sell 30 units. So first 10 from there, first second from there, and third from date 2. Okay. Now what happens? Now what happens? Then in case of inflationary periods, so let us understand that also. In inflation times, during the period of inflations, what happens? The prices of goods and services rises. Okay. Prices of goods and services rise. Okay. But in case of deflation, price of goods and services falls. Okay. Now question has asked us, when FIFO method would produce higher inventory account balances than the LIFO method. Okay. So in case of inflation, let's say the price the price will be, we are considering the inflationary inflationary time in FIFO method. Okay. So inflation time will imply that price will be rising. Like let's say the price on date 1 is $5 per unit. Now the price is rising $6 per unit, 7 per dollar unit, and 8 per dollar unit. Okay. Now what happens in case of FIFO method? Okay, when the prices are rising, so whenever the A company will sell the items, it will sell the items of low cost raw material. Okay, we have understood that in FIFO method the A company is willing to sell 30 units. Those 30 units will be allocated firstly as 10 units out of date 1 on date 1, then 20 units on date 2. So the low cost material will be sold out first, and higher cost raw material will be held as inventory. So we can understand from this example that in case of inflationary times, FIFO method will produce higher inventory account balances than the LIFO method. Okay. So I am again repeating that if the A company is willing to sell 30 units, so to allocate the 30 units to sell to the customer, we will sell low cost raw material first, because in inflation times the prices rises from preceding time point. Okay. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in case of inflation times and as well as FIFO, we will produce higher inventory account balances, okay, than the LIFO method. So the correct choice is, what is A, that is inflationary times. Okay. Please note down the first example as well as second one to get a clear idea about the solution and how did we arrive at. Okay. That's all for our solution. Thank you.